In this video, we're going to talk about the top 5 super small suburbs that surround Indianapolis that are best for families. So stay tuned. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jason Compton. This is Living in Indianapolis. If you want to know everything there is to know about living in Indianapolis, then you're in the right place. So hit the subscribe button and tap the bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. All right, so the top 5 teeny tiny, super small suburbs that surround Indianapolis that are best for families. There are a ton of suburbs that surround Indianapolis, and actually some of them are really quite big. Now, if you get into some of the ones on the north side, like Fishers and Carmel, they're over 90,000 people apiece. So they are actual cities by themselves. So if you live in those cities, not in Indianapolis, you've got a Carmel or Fishers address, let's say, for example, you're going to have everything that a normal city is going to have. So you'll have your Whole Foods, you have your Super Targets, you have grocery stores all over the place. You have tons and tons of schools. You have just about everything as far as amenities are concerned that a city like that is going to have. But this list goes into some of the suburbs that a lot of people don't think about, especially people moving to Indianapolis, and even a lot of the suburbs that people that live in the area currently, they don't think that much about, and they really don't know that much about them as well. So these are super small. We're talking like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,000 people really at most. And this list is put together based on really some criteria that most families are going to be concerned about. So how safe are they? And then also, how are the schools? Are the schools kind of the pits, or are they fantastic? Well, all of the schools in this list have at least an A rating on niche.com, and they have phenomenal reputations in the state, and they're all top 10 school systems in the state of Indiana. Now, they all have varying degrees of things to do. So you've got very, very little because it's just so small. So you have to kind of go outside of that suburb to find anything major to do. But sometimes that's what people want, of course. But then you've got some others that are really tied into some major places and activities that you can get to pretty easily. So this list would be for families that they don't want to live in Indianapolis, a big city. And they don't really care to live in a huge suburb either, because once you get into some of the big suburbs, it can get just as busy as it does sometimes in a big city. They want a more rural feel, a little bit like they're out there a little ways. And they're okay not being exactly perfectly close to a grocery store or a pharmacy or something else that they actually might need on a day-to-day basis. They can kind of go and get those things for the week of the month and not have to go back to those stores for a decent amount of time. So the top 5, we're going to go through 5 down to 1, and number 1 is probably, at least to a lot of the people that live here, the most surprising. So you may want to stick around to hear exactly which one that is. So coming in at number 5, we've got a really small, this is actually our smallest suburb on the list, on the far southeast side of Indianapolis, and that's New Palestine, Indiana. Nicknamed around those areas, at least, and around the Indianapolis area as New Pal. So it's only got about 2,400 people or so, and there's not a tremendous amount in New Palestine as far as shopping is concerned, or amenities, parks, things like that. But the people, for the most part, that live in New Palestine, that's the way they want it. It has a really pretty rural feel when you get just outside of it. So you're surrounded by farms, you're surrounded by open spaces. But the houses in New Pal, at least for the most part, there's a lot of really nice homes there. And the New Palestine High School is a phenomenal high school. In fact, the whole school district is very, very highly ranked. And right now it's fairly small, of course, given that New Pal is only 2,400 people or so, but it's not, at least residents of New Pal aren't the only ones that go to that school. Hancock County is where New Pal is located, and you can actually go to New Palestine High School from anywhere in Hancock County. But that being said, it's still a relatively small high school. We're talking maybe 1,000 kids or so, and extremely an extremely good reputation. So probably a really good spot for somebody and a family that really wants that rural feel. They really want to feel like they're out there, and they're kind of okay not necessarily being just 2 or 3 minutes away from something like a grocery store. Okay, that brings us to number 4 on the list. And this is one on the far, far south side. It's Bargersville, Indiana. So Bargersville, it's pretty far south, no question about it, south of Greenwood. And it's a little bit bigger. So we're talking close to 7,000 people or so. So Bargersville, again, is another suburb that not going to have a tremendous number of amenities itself. It's still close to places like Greenwood and Indianapolis too on the south side, but it's got a big advantage if you're really into the outdoors. So it is far south Indianapolis, which brings it close to some of the state forests and state parks. So if you take a look at the map, we've got Morgan Monroe State Forest, we've got Yellowwood State Forest, we've got Brown County State Park, Hoosier National Forest. All of these places are within an hour driving from Bargersville. So it's phenomenal. These are places that have great camping, they have great fishing, they've got hiking, just miles and miles and miles of trail. And actually, when you get down into the Hoosier National Forest and Brown County State Park, it's hilly. Indiana's not all completely flat. It is very hilly down there. So some of the mountain biking have been down there many, many times through the years. It's a fantastic place to go. Unbelievably nice. And it is enormously popular in the fall. So beautiful, so colorful. And you're going to find just about everything that you like to do outdoors down there. So Bargersville, kind of a pretty good match for families that really love the outdoors. You can go down for the day, you can go down for the weekend, you can go down for the week, whatever it is that you want to do. But just the fact that it's an hour or less to most of those places, that's a pretty big advantage when you're comparing it to other suburbs around Indianapolis. Now, as far as the schools are concerned in Bargersville, absolutely phenomenal. Center Grove High School is the high school that you would go to if you're in Bargersville. And it, again, is one of those schools with an A on niche.com and highly rated, top 10 in the state of Indiana. Number 3 on the list is a place called Pittsboro. Not Pittsburgh, Pittsboro. And it's on the far west side. It's actually a little bit west of Brownsburg, which is another really popular suburb of Indianapolis, and actually a great suburb of Indianapolis. It just happens to be quite a bit bigger than Pittsboro. Pittsboro is roughly 3,500 people or so. But the thing about it is that if you are in Pittsboro, then it's very likely you will go to Brownsburg High School. And Brownsburg High School, again, phenomenal high school, fantastic school corporation. It's a little bit bigger than what you're going to find in a place like New Pal, but Pittsboro itself, really very small. You get that rural or sparse suburban, very sparse suburban feel when you're out there, and certainly can get that feel like you are living out there, more so than what you would in Brownsburg or, of course, Indianapolis or some of the other suburbs. And one of the cool things about Pittsboro is that it's really close to Eagle Creek Park. Now, Eagle Creek Park is the largest Indianapolis park, and it's also one of the largest municipal parks in the entire country, the whole United States. The park's about 3,900 acres or so, and the reservoir there, the actual water itself, is about 1,400 acres. So it is really quite large. There's a lot to do there as far as hiking is concerned, boating is concerned, fishing. There's also about 10 miles or so of trails within the park itself. And Eagle Creek, just like some of the parks down in the south, in the southern part of the state, it's relatively hilly too. You'll see a lot of people there who like to bike and train for running races and triathlons and things. They'll run a loop. It's about a 4.5 mile loop around a portion of the park that has some really good steep inclines and some rolling hills through there. So not exactly perfectly flat. A really cool place for sure. Another cool part of Eagle Creek is the Go Ape Treetop Adventure. USA Today called it one of the top 10 zip lines in the entire United States. And it's roughly 2 to 3 hours where they have these towers and you actually climb from tree to tree through rope ladders and various climbing methods. And then at the very end, you can zip line down near the reservoir. It's an unbelievable experience and really cool to do. So Eagle Creek Park, very close to Pittsboro, and pretty awesome for families. Just a fantastic place to go, especially during the warmer months. And number 2 on the list is McCordsville, Indiana. So McCordsville is on the far east side, and it's a suburb of Indianapolis, but it's almost to the point now where it's kind of a suburb of Fishers, Indiana, too. Fishers has grown so much. It's over 90,000 people. But it's really a suburb. It's known as a suburb of Indianapolis. And McCordsville, again, just like some of these other suburbs, doesn't have a lot as far as amenities are concerned right within it. It does actually have a Meijer on the far southwest side, but there are a lot of people that don't know that that's technically has a McCordsville address. They'll think it's an Indianapolis address, but that's, other than a scattering of a few of the restaurants, not a whole lot in there. But that is probably poised to change because McCordsville, out of all of these suburbs that we have in this list, this is the one that's growing the fastest. And we've got some really nice homes being put up there in McCordsville. But still, if you get out on the far east side and south side of McCordsville, it has a very rural feel. So you have county roads, you have open farm fields, you have lots of land and open spaces to see. So McCordsville is about 6,500 people or so. And again, that's really changing. That's going to grow over the next 10 years, probably quite a bit. But one of the advantages that McCordsville has is that it's really close to Geist Reservoir. There are portions of Indianapolis and Fishers that go right along Geist Reservoir as well. And it's about 1,900 acres or so as far as the entire body of water. And it's an enormously popular place for boating and skiing and just general lake life. It is absolutely bustling during the summer. A very, very popular place. Now, if you're in McCordsville, given that it's right on the border of a couple of school districts, you get a little further south in McCordsville, and you're probably going to fall in the Mount Vernon School District, which is a very, very well-known, also phenomenal school district. You go to Mount Vernon High School, which is a little bit smaller than what you would actually get if you're further to the north. If you get into the north, you fall into the Hamilton Southeastern School District, and you'll likely end up at Hamilton Southeastern High School, which is certainly a much bigger high school when you compare it to Mount Vernon. So if that's your thing, then that's okay. But if you prefer to stay a little bit on the smaller side, then maybe Southern McCordsville and the Mount Vernon School District would be a little bit more for you and your family. So that brings us to number one. The number one suburb, small suburb, on the outside of Indianapolis would be Cicero, Indiana. And this place is absolutely one of my favorites for a number of reasons. I feel like it's just kind of the gem suburb that a lot of people don't think that much about. Now, the disadvantage is that it's pretty far north. So if you work downtown Indianapolis or somewhere in that range, it's going to be a heck of a drive for you. And you'll be fighting a lot of traffic coming in and going back. But it's on Morse Reservoir, and Morse Reservoir is a fantastic place. Huge reservoir, a bit like Geist is. Of course, Morse is a little smaller though, and it has a little more of a calm feel than Geist. Geist can get a little bit crazy for some people with all the boating and the skiing, and it feels like it's almost a little faster paced. Morse is a little more calm, a little more chill, and still has everything that you can possibly do there as far as a reservoir is concerned. Plus, Morse has a beach that you can go to and you can swim and bring the kids. It has the Cicero Red Bridge Park, which is right on the reservoir, a great place just for anybody to go to and spend some time near the water. Plus the downtown scene in Cicero, it's been up and coming for years. It is a super quaint, little, incredibly neat downtown. A cool place to go and have dinner, a cool place just to go and hang out in the evening, have a drink, whatever it is that you want to do. You can even bring the kids. So Cicero has a little bit more to offer inside the suburb itself than some of the other ones do, where you have to go out. So it may not be the perfect fit for somebody that doesn't want that. They really want that rural feel. But Cicero is still a little rural. It is out there a ways, but it has a little bit more to offer on its own. Plus, it has a golf course too, and I like to play golf, and Bear Slide Golf Course is one of the top 10 courses in the state, and it's located right there in Cicero. You don't have that really in any of the other suburbs that we're talking about here in this video. Now, if you live in Cicero, then you probably have a couple different places that you would end up as far as your school is concerned. You could end up over in Noblesville, and the Noblesville School Corporation is a fantastic place to end up in Noblesville High School. And then another one, if you're a little bit further to the west, you're going to end up in the Hamilton Heights School District and Hamilton Heights High School. So there you have it, the top 5 super small suburbs that surround Indianapolis that are the best for families. So if you have any questions about any of these, feel free to reach out, and I'll see you in the next video.